This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox Newscast. Welcome, everybody. How are you doing? I'm Colteastwood, and I'm here with Mag.
Well,
it's Mag!
Isn't that something? No way. It can't be that guy. Good evening, Colteastwood.
Decided to bring you back for another week.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's a silly thing to do. Anyways, Cold Chat, how's everybody doing today, man? I'm in a great mood. I'm very busy, got a lot going on, and we got some things to talk about, even though technically on the news side of things right now, it's a little bit quiet, but you know what? Because everybody's busy playing games, so that's a good thing, isn't it? I think
know
it's a
they're
great thing.
Avalanched onto us. Today we got Monster Hunter Wilds reviews. Came in way higher than what I was hearing from some of my friends that were reviewing the game. I was not expecting that. It's at a 90 Open Critic right now. It's an 89 on Metacritic. What are your thoughts on Monster Hunter Wilds?
Well, I got to tell you, first of all, Danny Passion Official, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. He was just saying great video today. I released a video. We will talk about that later because it ties into one of our topics. Anyways, I'm not surprised because Capcom is just such quality. I mean, they've been knocking it out of the park steady since Resident Evil 7, and they've only been expanding further. And what a shock and what a strange concept, folks, as I'm staring directly into the camera. When a company takes care of their employees, they perform better. Isn't that a strange concept? So what's happening is Capcom, what they're doing is they offered everybody raises, not only raises, they even give them performance bonuses on top of that, and then just continue to encourage their staff to do better. So guess what? The staff keeps raising the bar on themselves, right? Not only just for financial compensation, but also just because you feel good. You feel good because you feel appreciated, right? And that's something that's so important. Is like someone like me, like I'm a boss as well, and I always make sure that my staff is appreciated every single day. And I got to tell you, when I walk in and when I walk out the door every single day, I say thank you. No joke. I say thank you to every single employee when I walk out the door. Every single one. I stop and I say, hey, Anshul, thank you so much for today. Great job. I really appreciate it. This and that. All right, Jackie, thank you so much. And I go down the line and I will literally say thank you to every last person. Capcom does the same thing. And clearly it's showing in its work because the games are quality. Funny, some people were kind of giving it like an 80, 85, but the critics are really, really loving this game. So, I mean, there's so much going on right now that I feel that we have this first world problem where there's too many games to play right now and there's not enough time to do it. And I'm not one of those guys that like to rip through a game and just throw it aside and then go to the next one. I like to take my time and really invest in it. And as a result, I just find that myself kind of holding off on these things right now. Like, for example, I'm downloading, actually, as we speak, Avowed is currently officially downloading on my Xbox as we speak. And the only reason why I haven't started it, and I've talked about it with some people who ask me, say, well, how come you haven't started? Because I'm about 80% done Final Fantasy 16. And I have a rule, I can't do 2 RPGs at once because the mechanics are different, the buttons are different. I'm invested in the world. I'm almost rolling credits on it. So give me about 2 more days, and then I'm going to dovetail into Avowed. And then in between that, I'm playing It Takes Two with my son. I'm playing Space Marine 2 with my wife as I live stream them every week.
I know. I was going to say you're playing 2 games on stream per week as well.
Yes.
And then you have to fit in finishing 16.
Well, but those games are easy. Like Space Marine 2, it's shoot, right? It's aim, shoot, melee. Aim, shoot, melee. There are no other mechanics there. Right? Yeah. I'm not searching for gold. I'm not opening chests. I'm not doing side quests. You're literally just beelining it through. So those games don't require, it's like Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Call of Duty, you could just pick up any time in between other games. Just play, hey, let me play for an hour before I dive back into this RPG. So I can't do 2 RPGs at once. So once Final Fantasy 16 is done, Avowed is next on the list. So I'm excited for that. Yeah. Great time to be.
Shiny in the chat is super stubborn, says, Avowed is a flop. You'll never change my mind. Obsidian said yesterday they reported the game is selling really well. It's the top most played on Xbox. It's in the top 10. It's if you only look at Steam concurrent numbers, it is 17,000 peak concurrent users. Outer Worlds, which is another great success for a smaller game, was 20,000 peak concurrent users. So by all rights and all admissions of what you think a major flop is, Avowed is not as popular as Starfield. Starfield saw some 300,000 players. What was it? 300,000 plus played Kingdom Come Deliverance just on Steam alone for those two numbers. Those are juggernaut games. And I don't know. I didn't expect Avowed to be like super, super popular. And it's just right in there with the Outer Worlds, which I loved as well. And those are just smaller games. They just aren't.
Yeah.
When games are really, really special, though, they can break the mold and really surprise people and bring them in, no matter how small they are, like Balatro or Vampire Hunters or Survivor. But
I heard Balatro. Did Balatro drop in Game Pass today?
It did.
Did I see that on my timeline?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I might give that a whirl, like while I'm in bed or something. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those games you kind of just fart around with. Like instead of playing like a Tri-Towers like solitaire game on your cell phone, that seems like the kind of thing you could just mess around with while you're in bed.
Yeah. The problem being that game is really, really addictive, so you have to be super careful. I haven't even played it yet, but so
is Tri-Towers, man. Tri-Towers solitaire, like that's it, man. I go till the credits run out. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've talked a lot about Avowed over the past couple weeks, and I didn't want to get into that again because I don't know. It won over one of my friends who played it, who's like, I'll give it a shot. And all day he's been like, he's liking it more. He just keeps giving more praise to it. And I was talking to another friend of mine who really hates the idea of Avowed and everything and wanted to boycott it, and just kind of admitted, they did what they did with it. And it's getting its flowers for that. He's like, it's getting good scores. There's enough people playing it. It's like, I'll kind of lay off. But I've been playing, trying to play something in the interim, because the next game we're going to talk about is like just cannot catch a break. But I've been playing a small game that's coming to console next year called Enshrouded. It's like Grounded. It's a survival game. I built this stone lodge. You go out and you collect things. The world. I don't want to bore people with talking about games like this, but the world is like big valley, and down in the valley is fog, and you can only survive in the fog so long. And you chop down these trees that cause it, and it clears out areas systematically as you play. And it's just a really great game. You just take a whole backpack full of stuff home and see what you can craft with it. And I've really enjoyed it. It's from Keen Studios. They made a little crappy game called Portal Knights that went Game of the Gold long time ago. But Enshrouded's been taking my time because in a couple of weeks, or about, 8 days, I'm going to have hands-on with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And today they had another holy crap, we can't do anything right. Did you hear what happened to them today, Mag?
Not today, but I heard what happened a couple of days ago when they had another issue. It was another social issue, but not a game related issue.
Oh,
but,
okay. So they have two things going on. So today, a bunch of physical copies got out from like the retail circuit.
Crap.
And a bunch of people took home disc copies of the game, and they were streaming it, capturing and putting up like the entire game.
Streaming the game? These guys got balls, man. Like, how do you just be like, that's like live streaming you stealing from, well, I mean, mind you, they do that anyway, stealing from a store, or like sending it directly to a police officer and like, hey, officer, check this out. Look at this. Put it in my pocket, bruh.
You know what? I mean, do you think they knocked over an Assassin's Creed Shadows disc truck? Boom. Or I don't know. You're right. It's probably like an employee at like a Best Buy or something. I remember way back in the day, like 20 years ago, someone pulled some discs out of the back room of Costco before they were supposed to go on the floor, and they would sell them to their buddies that would come in, which is still stealing. So,
but in those days though, 20 years ago, when you got a disc game, the disc game was probably complete. Whereas now it's like you pop in a game, it's literally just a key to unlock the digital version of the game, and not only that, and then you have to do like an 80 gig patch in order to play the damn thing day one. So it's like in those days, if you got Gears of War 2, it was Gears of War 2. You know what I mean? Like on the disc, it was complete and good to go. Now it's Maverick. I do not own a Subway.
They're trying to get the final day one patch of any game. Like Assassin's Creed Shadows day one patch is probably being worked on right now, and they're working full time on that, or maybe even some overtime to get that final patch ready to launch for around early March when people start reviewing it. And then they've got the actual day one patch for people when they buy the game. So they put out a statement saying anything you're seeing is not representative final product. But oh man, this is such a dicey situation with Ubisoft.
I know.
They just
and
can't
you know what's funny?
break.
You know what's funny? Actually, now that we're talking about Ubisoft, as I'm doing my goal for this year, I know it sounds like work. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm doing backlog and a new game, and I'm juggling them both so that I can sort of slowly clean out that backlog of all those wonderful games I bought last year, and then on sale, by the way, and then play the new games because I'm going to be reviewing South of Midnight and Doom. So
Awesome.
I will be playing those day one, and well, actually even before. So the beauty is that I'm doing all that, but the funny thing is now, as soon as I'm done Final Fantasy 16, I'm going into Avowed. I figured Avowed is going to take me about a week and a half to 2 weeks of dedicated time because I don't game 8 hours. I don't know life a game anymore, dude. I'm 50 years old.
I don't even when I'm reviewing, bro.
I don't have time to like play for 8 hours a day. I got so much stuff on the go. However, the funny thing is the next game on the list is Star Wars Outlaws. That's my next backlog game before I get into. So it's going to be South of Midnight and Star Wars Outlaws at the same time. So kind of funny that Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming around at that time. Yeah. By the way, can I point something out in the chat, man?
Of course.
Guys, everybody say something. I'm not a prison chef, Magnum.
I saw that too.
Oh my God. Guys, send your prayers and thoughts to Christian 5916 in the chat there. He's saying, I'm watching this from the hospital, had a heart attack, and they had to do a procedure, and I have to be in observation listening to your guys.
Listen to your
so he's in the
body. Yeah.
Oh, listen to your body, guys. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I read that wrong. So he's listening to us in the hospital right now. Christian, listen, man. All the best, all right? Get a good recovery, you know, and all that stuff. And we wish you all the best, man. And thanks for listening. And I hope during a rough day that you're having today that we could bring a little bit of happiness to you, brother. So just really appreciate you just being here, man.
Yeah, big love to you, Christian.
Stay well. Stay well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think about him sitting there with his phone, listening to the show and hoping.
Me too, dude.
Like just hoping that maybe like he'll feel a little bit better. I'm probably feeling a lot better right now. I only know about this a little bit because my father-in-law had a massive heart attack in September. And coming out the other side, he's so much better. So I hope you are on the road to recovery. He says, listen to your body. Absolutely. And you're in good hands, Christian, but thank you. And I really feel sorry for any of the people that are helping him that have to listen to you and I talk about video games as they walk by his hospital bed. What in the clown show is going on there with those guys?
Can you imagine the guy's doing a procedure and the doctor comes in and goes, who is that guy screaming on the phone right now? Can we turn that off, sir?
Yeah, we appreciate you, Christian.
Is that an X-bot I hear named Colteastwood Shill? Is that him?
Oh, you know that's how it's
the
gonna
surgeon's
be.
like a hardcore PlayStation player and he happens to hate you.
Oh my!
Can I see your phone, sir? And then he like just stabs it with a scalpel.
Don't you know Xbox is done for?
Take that.
Yeah,
Xbot.
Yep. we got Danny Passion Official sends a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Danny. I've been seeing him. I've been doing the podcast circuit rounds. On Friday, I was with Randall Thor and Lord Cognito.
Yeah,
and really breathed some life into Rand's show. We had a good time. And then I was on Lone Vault Wandering's pre-recorded podcast. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't say Wandering. That's not his name. Lone Vault Wanderers podcast. And we talked about the state of gaming and Avowed and stuff. It was really awesome. And then I turned around and did Fonz's show with Gaz and Zonker. And we didn't get anything accomplished. Right. It was great. But
yeah. I was on Gamers Council with Web Dave yesterday. It was lovely.
So who was it? Web Dave and you, and was Retri there? Or was it just you two?
No, and Hargeet Chani was not there as well.
Right. Yeah.
Because of his personal situation.
Yeah. Prayers and thoughts to Hargeet Chani. He's got a lot of family stuff going on, and I talked to him briefly, and he didn't sound as energetic as he usually does. He's been going through it. So
it's a rough time for him, man. Yeah. So there was a lot going on there, but anyways, we had a good show yesterday. Couple of people that don't like me in the chat, but hey, what are you gonna do? Not everybody likes me.
Seriously?
So saying some nasty things, and I'm like, you guys still holding on to that crap from like a year and a half ago?
Oh,
jeez, man.
Like Mag said he was going to play Indiana Jones on his PS5 Pro. Yeah. Well,
mute his mic. I saw those in the chat. I'm like, okay.
I like when I go to someone's show and they go, Colt's here? Well, I'm out. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. It's so funny. And it's like, and I was looking at the chat. And so, I kept calling them out by name whenever I said something. And then and I would just say, yeah, so then I would say, that's what I do, Mick, whatever. And then I would say their name, and I just kept doing it. And Web Dave had a good laugh about it. We had some
Yeah,
fun.
Web Dave's
But
a
he
good
had
guy. Yeah.
He is a very good guy. He had to say a couple things, man. He was a bit like, chat, be nice. So it was kind of,
I mean, like you're a guest
but
on
it is
someone's
what it
show and people could
Yeah, but,
maybe listen for a minute. But I've noticed, like when we say something to someone in the chat and they're like, oh crap, they can see me. And then they're cool. People are mostly pretty cool, but Danny Passion Official's super is kind of about YouTube. I thought I would kind of like meld that into the topic. He says, off the topic, I don't need an answer if you don't want, but hey, I will, even though I haven't read it yet, Danny. He says, I've been streaming and making videos on my channel. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. If you're streaming on YouTube, I've only done that a little bit. And making videos, like some Mag is new to this as well and seeing great growth.
Yeah.
He's at over 1,000 subscribers.
Consistency. I mean, Colt will be able to tell you more than I can because he's been doing it longer. With his own channel.
If you can be consistent, like I want to make a video every week and say it's going to be something I work on Thursday night, so it's a Friday video or whatever. Try and be consistent. But one of the things that people don't always talk about when it's creating content is if you're on a microphone or a camera, enjoy it, be happy, be excited, and smile. And even if you're just on a mic and you're smiling and something you want to talk about, if you're not one of those YouTubers that only talks about how the industry's cooked, if you're like Mag and I are just excited about what's coming, excited about what's going to be, what we're going to be playing or what's being like whispered down the road, like that energy comes through on the mic. Make sure you have a decent mic. You don't need to spend a lot of money, Danny, get an okay mic, get up on it and get a good sound and just enjoy it. That enjoyment will shine through when you make your videos, and then people get to know who you are and they'll come to you for, some gaming stuff. What do you got? What do you got,
I wanted to say, it was something I said at the end of not this last video. I did a rant video 2 videos ago. I did it on Saturday. I think I dropped it. And it was about Activision. I wasn't happy about them charging $100 for the 4 Ninja Turtles on Call of Duty. And so I
How much is it for 4 of them?
$100. It's 2,400 COD points for each one. But the way, like, in order to buy the amount of COD points to be able to buy all 4, it's $100. So it's $140 Canadian if I want to buy the Ninja Turtles for Call of Duty.
How much are the Ninja Turtles on Fortnite? Because I bought one of them. I bought Michelangelo, and I think
I don't know.
Maybe it's like 12. Anyway, 12 per.
Okay, so
that's a lot.
Like half the price, basically. But
sorry, it's off.
Anyways, what I was gonna say, and I said it in the video, because I didn't call out YouTubers by name. I just I was unhappy about some of them that would say, in their title, they say, egregious prices for TMNT, Call of Duty is lost or this and that, whatever, to get those clicks. And then as soon as you go on the video, the first thing they did was buy all 4 of those skins and then say, watch my next video where you can watch gameplay of all 4 Ninja Turtles. And I'm like, you scumbags, you use it as a clickbait title and then you go and complain about it and then you go and buy the thing. So what I went into a rant about was authenticity. So what I mean by this is that when you're doing YouTube or anything else or anywhere where you've got an audience and you've got people that listen to you, all these wonderful people in this chat here, right? Scrub Nurse, I see you, buddy. Jax82, I see you too, man. I see all you guys in there. Every single one of your comments, I see all of it. I saw Hackett in there saying hello. So anyways, the point is that be authentic. And Robert Meyer Burnett, who's, I said it before, he's a Hollywood pundit, YouTuber, icon. He does a lot of reviews. He's a big behind the scenes guy in Hollywood. And he said authenticity is the currency of the future. And that's something that I hold dear to my heart for this channel. Gary from Nerdrotic says the same thing once a week. He says it. Authenticity is the currency of the future, and you just say your truth and everything else and be true to yourself, and that's where people will listen to you and follow you. Because if you're full of crap, you'll get some people, but the majority of the people will see right through it, right? And they'll see that you're just doing it for the clicks, or you're doing it for the views, or you're doing it whatever to try and fit in, or you know what I mean? Colt, stop it. and so, you know what I mean? And people see through that. Be true to yourself, and people will listen and follow you, man. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So do that.
That's such a good speech. I'm glad you said that. That's one of the topics today, about being true to yourself and being authentic when you create content. Because It's a lot of things that'll happen when you make exciting thumbnails or exciting headlines, and people are like, clickbait, you lied, and all that stuff. Let me look at this. That's the next thing I'm going to go into here. Before I do that, I want to thank so much to TeaseBud95 for the $2 super chat. Says, I got a 1 terabyte Series S, and the first game I play is Avowed. I'm sure that game looks pretty good on Series S. It's just only 30 there, but I mean, it's just amazing. I think a Series S is around 250 bucks.
You could play it at 40 FPS on Series S too.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yes, they have a 30 and a 40 FPS option, and then on the Series X, and I would imagine PC, obviously, they have 30, 40, and 60.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, you're gonna have.
You know what? I have a Series S. I have a Series S.
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
I actually might download. I'm gonna try it on the Series S and see what it looks like at 40, just for fun. You know what I mean? Just to sort of.
It's
benchmark.
I mean, on Series X, the 40 mode was a lot sharper than the performance, but yeah. Well,
no, I mean, I'll give it a shot. Well, I mean, I got both, right? So I'll take a look at it, and I mean, obviously, I'll play it on the more powerful one, but I wouldn't mind checking it out because I got a Series S in the bedroom, right? So
yeah, big and then
huge triple X in the bed.
Huge thanks to H2O, a freaking red super mega super chat, $200, says peace and blessing, Colt. Thank you, Mag. Peace and blessings, Colt. Mag, I got Monster Hunter Wilds on the brain. It's 5 a.m. Crap, back to sleep with love. And he's from Dubai. So, yeah.
Dude, that's absolutely amazing, man.
Yeah.
So amazing. Shout out to Dubai, man. That's awesome.
If he's anything like me, he's like, it's 5 a.m. and I'm awake. If I look at my phone, Mag, at 5 a.m., I'll be on it for like 2 hours. It's like, it wakes me up. It's the worst. But it's 5 a.m. over there. Yeah. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. So when Mag was like, you got to be authentic, I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk a little bit about Elder Scrolls 6 and some leaks, because I covered this in a video, and some of our peers on YouTube, Mr. Matty Plays and Juicehead, made videos about this and kind of course corrected and debunked a lot of the information that was in my video that came from a 4chan post. So what I did was, it was Wednesday night. I was in the mood to talk about Elder Scrolls, so I started looking for any information that I could find, and I found this post that was just a couple of weeks old that was still being talked about, and I thought, okay, I haven't heard much of this, but a couple of weeks and people aren't talking about it yet. I can make this video and get people talking and excited. And so I made this video about Elder Scrolls 6 takes place in Hammerfell. There's a bunch of water bodies in the game. The rumor was that you could build your own ship, a la Starfield, but a pirate ship. You could build your own ship and live on it and go out on it and have battles like in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And that really excited me. Also, they're supposed to have a fully fleshed out home settlement building system like we saw in Fallout 4 and 76, a Skyrim, and all these things kind of make sense. So I built this video, put it all together, and I said, this is coming from a supposed former dev that left and said, here's a bunch of information before it gets deleted. So I said I would take major caution on this information, but here it is, and I laid it out. So to me, this is like a very entertaining video about gameplay details or what could be or what could be possible or what could leak. And it turns out probably a lot of that might be crap, but some of it, like Maddie and Juicehead said, is probably rooted in some truth or some very, what I would say, like some sure thing guesses. So there's a mix of that. And so those guys were really cool to have corrected that. And they were very nice about my video. Juicehead said he really liked my video, said it was good. But when Mag says you got to stay authentic to yourself, there's been many times where I've heard stuff and I've reported on it. And, you always hear, we'll say things like take it with a grain of salt or whatever. And sometimes we get excited, and I don't know. It's very possible, Mag, that we're getting an Oblivion remake announced this year. And maybe Bethesda's like, this is what Elder Scrolls looks like. We'll see you in a year or so. I don't know, but that's kind of where we're at as far as some of my friends and some other people that I've dug into this are kind of like, I can see that a real possibility. But when it comes to being authentic, that's one of those videos where I'm like, only half of this is probably going to be viable, and maybe the other half is pipe dreams. I don't know, but if you could be entertained by the video and kind of get your compass pointed on what you think that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to look like, as I like throwing all this really cool footage that people put together of, Elder Scrolls like highly modded. I don't know. It's an enjoyable video. Check it out if you haven't. I think it's a good video if you can just take it as what could be. But yeah, staying true to yourself and authentic. People can trust if you're straight up and just say, I would take this stuff with a grain of salt, or maybe I should do some more homework on that one. But that's kind of where it lands. Yeah. I don't know how your thoughts are on that, Mag.
Well, first of all, we are getting the Oblivion remake announcement this year. That's happening. So whether it comes out this year, I don't know. But all I know, the announcement 100% is coming this year. So that's exciting. I did see Boom's video this morning. He was talking about how some people are talking behind the scenes that it could be coming out as early as 2026. I have not heard anything from anybody. Yeah, I've got nothing concrete there, so I can't corroborate that. But hopefully I can get some more information. I don't have a lot of people on that side of the fence working on that game that speak to me, so you never know. Maybe I can get somebody stick their nose behind the frosted glass and see what's going on. Shout out to Paris in the chat, by the way. He's here enjoying the show, and of course, awesome. Risk it for the biscuit scumbag that he's finally returned, and he's back causing trouble already. Anyways, the
last console purist,
the Oblivion. Yeah, right. Hey, so am I.
I know you are.
I don't play on PC. I can get one. I don't want one. But anyways.
Mag,
Oblivion
now,
remake, that'll hold us over.
Shoosh, I don't have to take the L. I'm good.
Just take the L, Colt.
Yeah. But I will give the apology for people who are like, I did see some, sorry, Mag, to like shoehorn this.
No.
Sometimes when I look at the comments, people are like, oh, this is BS, or, oh, they're going to screw this up. I don't trust Bethesda. And then there's some people like, oh, this looks so amazing. And I'm like, did they hear me like do the whole disclaimer in the opening segment? Probably. Are they like, oh, I'll take this with a grain of salt. This sounds amazing. And I think as gaming fans, like, it's okay to feel like that. I mean, imagine if you watch ESPN and they're like, this is what we think he's going to do this season. He's going to do this. They're going to take the team to here. And everyone's like, yes, I'm rallying behind that. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. And maybe they don't. But like, the fans can be excited and they can watch the trajectory of where things go. I don't make videos for the Library of Congress, but, it did make me a little bit nervous when Juice had said, I dug into this. And, this post got deleted later and stuff like that. But he said, Colt sourced it, stuff like that. But I want to be transparent. And I actually didn't get any backlash about that. And I wanted to say this before you were talking, before I asked you. A Mexican games leaker or fake insider, he calls himself Ecstasis, reported on this and said that the information comes from Colteastwood. It's like, well, it's not my information. I have it linked in my video. It came from a post of a supposed dev. Like, take it as it is and enjoy it for what it is. But people were hassling Ecstasis, like, you steal stuff. And I'm like, calm down. So I just want to make sure that if I feel a certain way, and I didn't get backlash on this, but I did feel enough that I should say something like, hey, if you felt like you kind of got steered the wrong direction with that video, sorry about that. But I appreciate all of you guys for your support. Sorry, hopefully you remember where you were, Mag, before I ran my mouth.
I was actually going to answer Golf Dad in the chat. So he's asking if you heard what engine the Oblivion remake will use. No.
Yes, we did. We did. He's from Spain. That's right. He's from Spain, because I said he was Brazilian and said no, he's not Brazilian.
Mexican.
He's speaking Spanish, which don't they speak Portuguese in Spain? Because somebody corrected me in a tweet and said he's speaking Spanish. He's not from Brazil, because they speak Portuguese in Brazil and Spain, right?
No, Portugal and Brazil.
And what do I know?
That's Portuguese. It's Portuguese, Spanish, or form of not. And then Portugal is Portuguese. Obviously, Spain is Spanish.
Hey, I left the country twice. What am I going to do? Yeah, but thank you, Christian. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Xasis is from Spain. For those people who want to hear me correct it, thanks to Christian 5916. Straight out of the hospital, he can still get it all taken care of.
Yes, man. Yeah. Hey, listen, man. Hey, Christian, reach out to us later, man.
Yeah.
DM me later. Let me know what's going on. I want to make sure you're all right. Anyways, Oblivion remake engine. What do you know?
We've seen that it's an Unreal Engine 5. I mean,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of
No,
where
I
saw
didn't want
it.
to say anything unless
I don't want to
didn't want to
speak.
say anything unless.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for people. But the leaks that we were, because I don't have the inside track on this. I just keep being told by someone who knows that it's Unreal Engine 5. It's being done by, oh my gosh, I said it in my video on Friday. This studio that's doing, I don't remember. I'm not a very good host right now.
The thing is, yeah. See what happens when you get old, folks?
Yeah, I'll look it up for you.
All I want to know is that, all I'm hoping for with the Oblivion remake is that it is actually a true to form remake, very much like Resident Evil, like Capcom does with their chef's kiss remakes of Resident Evil that they've done with 2, 3, 4, and then what they got coming up. As long as they do that and make them stellar, I'm in 100%. I'm in anyway, but I do not want a 4K 60 version of a slightly cleaned up version of Oblivion that came out 20 years ago. I don't want to play that.
I don't either.
Play that. It's kind of like when they did the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. You know, the one that the Rockstar just released with GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and all they did was clean up the graphics from 30 years ago. Dude, I don't want to play that. Not 30 years, but you know what I mean. I don't want to play that.
No, I don't either.
You know what I mean? I want a ground up remake from the It's too far gone to just do a remaster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you get like a Days Gone remaster, came out 6 years ago, 7 years ago, okay, fine. But 20 plus years ago, dude, what are we talking about here? You know what I mean? So it has to
Virtual
be a
Studio is developing a remake of Oblivion using Unreal Engine 5.
That's all I want to know.
Yeah, from a former employee, if you're to believe that. But that's being spread to a lot of people, and then somebody told me that we're getting it. It's either the information is it's getting revealed at Showcase or it's going to be released close to Showcase. And I could just see it's one of those things like at Showcase, you see this remastered, prettied up version of Oblivion from 06, and then at the end it's like available right now on everywhere.
Give me a new game. Give me a new game, like a remake of. I mean, you could keep the bones, obviously, right? The maps, you know what I mean, like the all the locations, the characters, whatever else. You don't have to do that because that's the groundwork. The foundation's already there. Just make it gorgeous and make it modern, and that's it. I'll be totally happy. I'd be willing to pay full price for that. If you give me a brand new RPG remake from the ground up of Oblivion, I'll buy it.
Yeah,
I'll spend $70 on it. I wouldn't even have a problem doing that because I spend money on RPGs, man. I enjoy it.
Did you play Oblivion back in the day? I didn't.
Back in the day, yes. And then but more so.
BT Maverick. He says I can't do the Mass Effect upgrade versions either. They are wonderful. I was even playing it last month. Oh, try to. Well, one
Maverick, you struck a chord, man.
Yeah, you did.
Struck a chord with Colt.
One feels slightly upgraded, but still looks good. Right. But when you get into 2 and 3, you're like, oh my gosh. And I don't care. 1 is still amazing as is, but
I never played the remakes, but I played the living hell out of the original trilogy when they came out.
Yeah,
like I destroyed them. I loved Mass Effect.
That remake trilogy is amazing, Mag. You don't have time.
I just couldn't. I just don't have time.
But if you did, like if you started it up and started playing, just check off that time. You're not getting it back. You'd be all in. So don't do it. Please don't do it.
Yeah. No, dude, I've got in my backlog. I don't have that much in my backlog anymore. I'm now down to single digits for the backlog, which is incredible. Except 3 of them are like 100+ hour RPGs that are in there. So I'm like, God. And so that doesn't even include Avowed. By the way, that doesn't include Avowed, which I'm downloading. It actually should be done. I'm going to check the progress on that. It should be done shortly. And then I've got South of Midnight, not a huge game. I could finish that in a couple days. And then we've got Doom, right? So it's like we got that on top of that. Plus, I still got like a Dragon's Dogma 2 in the mix.
Oh my gosh! And you're not even messing with
Rebirth. The frig, man.
Yeah, you're not even messing with. Yeah, and you're not messing with Monster Hunter Wilds and Kingdom Come Deliverance.
No,
otherwise you'd be buried.
Monster Hunter. No, I'd be buried. I played Monster Hunter Worlds on Game Pass back in the day when they offered it there. I'm like, well, it's free. Well, not free. Excuse me. I hate using that term. My bad.
Hey, we allow it here.
It's in Game Pass. We allow it here. It's in Game Pass. I didn't have to pay full price for it, but it's here. Let me give it a shot. And I put in a solid 5 or 6 hours. So I gave it a good old college try. It's not like I played 20 minutes.
I did
and said,
too.
Forget it. So I played about 5-6 hours, and it just wasn't like you know what I mean? It just wasn't grabbing me, and which is unusual because Capcom games, I'm all in 100%
I
on
think you'll
Capcom
be
games.
pleasantly surprised with Dragon's Dogma 2. It has
Oh, I can't wait.
some of that stuff that you might have liked in Monster Hunter without the stuff that makes you not want to play Monster Hunter. That's what happened to me.
That's after Doom, by the way. That's after Doom.
Yeah,
I already have I have a roadmap of literally the games I'm playing and how I'm going to play them. So that one's after Doom, so May.
And Dragon's Dogma 2 is like the best versions on PS5 Pro for console by a long stretch. So that's a really good choice.
The performance, I heard there was some. I did buy it there. I did that because my wife wanted to play it because I game share with her, so she wanted to buy it or she wanted to play it.
Yeah, they've been fixing it for a while, and they've kind of straightened it out on console, but you get a better, sharper version of that on PS5 Pro. So,
can I tell you something? By the way, speaking of PS5 Pro, I heard some interesting news today, and we'll see if this comes to fruition. But you can give it a little tag, and maybe we'll put it on the side for later on. But I heard that the PS6 will not be using PSSR.
No way.
That's what I heard. I heard that today.
I mean, Digital Foundry.
This is not some rando.
Digital Foundry was saying that PSSR is like a fire and forget, and devs they can't really get anything else out of it until it iterates and improves on PlayStation's end. So maybe that doesn't sound super crazy, but
apparently they have a new solution for the next generation consoles.
And it's probably something close to what Microsoft's doing too.
It's an evolution of what they've already been doing. Like the PSSR, I know they've improved it twice. It's already evolved twice since they've launched it, and it's doing much better. And then the third iteration now is doing better. But apparently, the new solution is going to be different than PSSR. So that's interesting. I heard that today, and that's a very reliable source too, by the way. That guy bats 1,000. So that's an interesting little side note. I just heard about it today, but I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
That will actually fit into one of our topics better than I thought. I will get into that to close out the Elder Scrolls thing. Mag, what are you laughing at?
No, the chat. I swear to God, this chat is just full of Jerry Seinfelds and Louis C.K.'s, man. It's like nothing but stand-up comedians in here. Like every time I'm trying to have a serious conversation, I look at my second screen and I start laughing. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's great. No, they are good.
Zach, I see you.
We have the best chat. Guys, if you are having fun. And
I'm having fun.
Hit the like button and show your support for the show. We really appreciate it. We're live on YouTube. We're also, if you're listening to this show, which most people listen to this on demand on YouTube, let us know how that comes across if you're listening to an audio version. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We appreciate you for listening there and hearing us. If you're on Spotify, you can see us while you're driving. And please don't do that. But watch us when you're at a red light. We'd appreciate that. But yeah, thank you so much for all your support. Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake. Mag and I are feeling like, we'd put our money down that it's a good possibility that it'll get revealed this summer and come out not long after. But my proposal to you, Mag, and in my video
you're proposing to me live on the air, folks.
Yes, so
unbelievable. There it is, down on one knee, so I can kick you easier. Sorry, carry on.
Speaking of the One Ring, this weekend, my wife and my son and I went to the local symphony 60-piece orchestra, and they were doing Academy Awards Best Picture soundtracks down through the years. And they started out with Gone with the Wind, Ben-Hur. Then they went up into the 70s and 80s. It was so great. And I didn't look at the program. I don't want to know what they're playing. I want to be surprised. And my son already spoiled that they're going to do Lord of the Rings. And when they started with the Bag In theme with the flutes and everything, bro. And I looked at my son. I took my ring off, and I was like, I whispered, if you would, I would give you the One Ring. And he was like, stop it, Dad, because he's with his friend. And the emotions, like music is so important to us in games and movies, right? And I love when games use like an orchestral soundtrack. And the Lord of the Rings is so special to us, right? But they followed up with or just before that, they played a montage from Forrest Gump. And I was like,
I was about to say Forrest Gump has got to be in there, man. That's another one.
They started with the feather song when the feather comes down. And then they got into the woes of Jenny and stuff or whatever that's called. Oh my gosh, bro. And I was like, don't you cry, you son of a, don't you be a wuss right now. You got to be a man. but it was great. Anyway, we had a great time.
I love what Jenny says in the scene in the movie that she never actually says. She's like, "Bye, Forrest. I'll be back when you're a shrimp billionaire and I've got AIDS and a single mom."
Why do you have to ruin it?
Yeah, never trusted that Jenny.
Oh,
I'm glad she's dead. I'm glad she's dead.
Oh yeah, it was good. Will goes, "Don't lie, Colt. You know you went to the PlayStation concert." Yeah, I mean, there's some great music and games. I would love to go to one of those for gaming. And when I think about the music from Elder Scrolls, it's amazing. So yeah, my proposal to you, Mag, was that they show this Oblivion remake, and then they say, "And here is Elder Scrolls 6."
Absolutely.
And I hope that's where they're headed, because they have announced it in 2018, 7 years ago, and that was their mistake. But Xstasis is trying to say that there's a rumor that the game's coming out, like you said, 2026. I'm like, well, it's probably 27 or 28, but maybe they're ready sooner than later. But I don't know. My guess is 2027. That's still a long wait, but I don't know.
I think that you're right. That's a good way of doing it. Kind of like how they're going to be doing that reveal for Final Fantasy. They're going to be releasing the 1, but they're going to show all together for maximum impact, right? So that they'll be releasing Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox, and then Remake and Rebirth later on down the road. But they're going to show them together, so it builds some momentum. Saying, "Hey, this is what we got for you right now." By the way, I know I saw Magnum was talking about it in the chat earlier. He didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really getting into it now. But anyway,
and that's good. I'm glad you are. I'm not mad at you.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Xbox players who did not play it on PlayStation. I'm excited for some of them. Whoever's going to buy it on Xbox, they're going to be able to play Final Fantasy 16 there, because I enjoyed it. But anyways, they're going to do that. Say, here's Final Fantasy 16, and then you've got this and this to look forward to later on. I can absolutely see them doing that with Oblivion, and then saying, and bringing up Capcom yet again. That's what they do when they show the remake of a game. Then they're like, here's the remake of Resident Evil 3. Oh, and by the way, and then they launch into a trailer of Resident Evil Village. Right? So it's like, here's a little blast from the past. Here you go. Thank you very much, fans, for whatever, a beautiful remake of Resident Evil 3. Here's a new trailer of what to look forward to as the series continues on from, Biohazard, Resident Evil 7, and whatever, right? So you've got a bit of the past, a bit of the future. Perfect way to do it, man. That's the best way to do it. Maximum impact. It's great for, it's great for ratings and getting people really invested, right? So I'm excited for both. Either way, because I love I played Oblivion. I liked Skyrim better, obviously. Skyrim is always considered the goat of all goats. I mean, I can't go back and play it now just because it has a little bit of a dated mechanic in there. But either way, it still holds a place in my heart, right? And then on and on. And so I'm excited for the new one. So yeah,
I think
I'm all in.
I think the way that you position that, where they have to say, here's what you loved, here's what you're going to play next, is really vital and crucial to the success or the survival of franchises right now. Like, it's really difficult for games to see enough players. Matt Piscatella from the NPD group, he talked about the sales of games. He said 12% of gamers are the ones that are buying the Ubisofts and the Capcom games and the next, all the games that come out like every month. The rest of the people are just playing Fortnite and Roblox and Warzone, and I don't want to dive into that, but it really sucks that the Gen Xers and the Gen Y, the people who, got out of high school in the 90s or the 2000s, were the ones who were like, what's the next game? What's the next world? And we've talked about this on the show. Like, the people that are our kids' age or younger, they're like, Hogwarts Legacy 2, it looks cool. I've got my game. I play every night with my friends. I don't need anything else. And they're just,
it's funny you say that. Yeah, I know, dude, but some of it's got to do with timing. And there's a lot of people out there who are kind of ignoring the fact that kids grow up to become adults, and then their taste will change over time. So that people think, like our generation, they're like, oh, your generation, once you guys are like retired and gone, people won't be playing single player adventure RPGs anymore. And this, I'm like, what are you talking about? An 8-year-old is eventually going to become a 25-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they're not going to be sitting there screaming on Fortnite and Roblox at 30 years old. It doesn't happen. Unless you're one of those like weirdos.
There's another problem when they get into their late 20s.
Fine. Not Roblox. Sorry, go on. Yep.
The other problem is when they get into their late 20s or so, they start getting married or get a full-time job or they have kids. And I can't tell you how many of my friends, when they turned 28, they never turned on their Xbox again. And they still have
Frauds, all of you.
Yeah. It sucks.
Unbelievable. I have a wife and kids. Mind you, my wife plays almost as much as I do.
Like Gen X, like especially Gen X people who grew up on games. Their consoles carried them through college. They brought them home. They played those consoles with their brand new kids when they became toddlers. I remember handing my 4-year-old the Xbox original controller and saying, "We're playing Star Wars Lego," and we did for like 80 hours, and she went through every level with me like a freaking savant. It was amazing. But shout out to Special Nick in the chat. Risk it for the biscuit. I want to give out some shout outs as well. Shout out to Lord X Obi, who also streams on TikTok and Twitch, and he's a great friend. Been around a long time. I've known him for like 7 years. Who else is here? The game adaptation newscast. BT Maverick. We appreciate all of you guys. Tugger Knot. Magnum, my best friend. He says Final Fantasy 15 was much better.
Really? I hated Final Fantasy 15.
Backstreet's back. All right.
Game. It was off. To me, that was terrible. 16 is a return to form. Yeah. I'm really enjoying the hell out of it. Matt G, I see you, dude. Risk it, knock it. Can we? Magnum's not. Is Magnum a? No, he's only a mod on my channel. Yeah, I was gonna say
I don't know if I can give Magnum the special powers. Yeah.
No, I mean, we gotta block him. We gotta time out Risk It for the biscuit.
Will the Broke Boy Lewis, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, give Mag that $200 so he can buy all the turtles.
I could buy Splinter with that.
It's funny at first. I'm like, what turtles?
So yeah, no, I got it right away. Yeah, I got it right away.
Well, I mean, they do look cool in Call of Duty. Like,
no, dude, they look cool, but not $25 each. Cool.
You know what?
Sorry,
that's a
$25 US. Cool.
That's a you problem. Like, what about the diehard Ninja Turtle guy? Is like $25 and I can be Leonardo all the time. Sign me up.
Hold on a second. Here's the thing, though, and this is something else I talked about in the video. Again, I'm not going to dive into it, but I'm just going to sort of get into it.
Okay.
I feel like Call of Duty has kind of lost its way in certain ways. Like, I enjoy combat, military strategy, all that kind of stuff, boots on the ground, FPS shooters, whatever, this and that. And I know I bitched about it on this show, but I don't want to see Cardi B in the thong. I don't want to see Art the Clown with a machine gun, Cheech and Chong jumping over the walls with Uzis. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to see Leonardo with his friggin' bow staff. What does that got to do with Call of Duty?
Can you turn that stuff off? Like, I remember a weird setting.
No, you can't, because other players play those characters. You can't turn off their skins.
There's a setting in Forza Motorsport and Horizon where you can turn off liveries, so you can't see other people's liveries. Like, if you don't want to play the game and see like anime drawings or SpongeBob, and if you think that ruins your immersion, you could turn that off on your end. You can't see liveries. Wouldn't that be something that they should do? Or if someone has a themed Call of Duty character, they just get a default on your side. But maybe that's just way too much computer.
They're cashing. I mean, they're cashing in. Obviously, they're making a ton of money. But that's the thing that bothered me. Like Black Ops 6 made $1 billion in the first 10 days, by the time it crossed $1 billion. Did you really have to charge $35 Canadian for a turtle? You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that just seems egregious at that point. Like that, you know what I mean? And I understand, like, it was in some other games. In Justice 2, you were able to buy the turtles. I think it worked out to like $32. If you were to change it for inflation, it'd be about $50 for all 4 turtles in Justice 2, right? So, okay, that's not the end of the world. But like, you know, like $140 Canadian for 4 turtles. I know you don't have to buy them. I know you have to. Obviously, you could just skip right over it and just play the game. I get it.
I mean, you're a big Turtles fan, right?
I do like the turtles, man.
Like,
I even like the Michael Bay ones, man. The Michael Bay ones were, I don't care what anybody says, they were pretty dope, man. The action scenes.
I haven't seen them.
Oh my god, dude! There's an action scene in the second one with oh my god, I don't even want to spoil it, but it's like in the river with a tank. It's in oh my god, and a crashing airplane and all that, and Bebop and Rocksteady and the slow motion moves that are going on while Tank is firing, ninjas, turtles are flying,
like
Bebop and Rocksteady are pumping. Oh, dude, it's so cool. But anyways, let's get off that. I'm waiting for Battlefield because Zampella.
He won't do that.
This is what I'm praying for. I'm praying for Zampella, dude. Yeah. Zampella is releasing the new Battlefield, and I'm like, please, Lord on high, Give the powers to Zampella. This is a prayer moment. Everybody, please pray.
Yes.
Let us pray. Please, Lord, give Zampella the power to release a fantastic Battlefield that blows the balls off of Call of Duty and just makes it amazing.
Thine balls.
Yes, thine balls off of Call of Duty and make a beautiful, amazing military strategy, first-person shooter extravaganza. That's what I want to see. I want to see a return to form of Battlefield 3 and 4, a little bit of Bad Company 2, with that Zampella flair in there. God, come on, man. You got to do it. You got to do it because they really crapped the bed with Battlefield 19, whatever the hell it was called, 2042. But the other one, come on, man. They got to do that.
That's got to be like, that's got to be written at the top of the whiteboard. Like, no more Battlefield 2042 or whatever it's
2042,
called. No Ninja Turtles and Cardi B. And like, that's their mantra. I think that prayer might come true for you, Mag, especially how much devotion you gave into it. Zampella is proven.
Yeah. You know what I mean? The man is proven. The guy did Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, and the 2 Jedi games, right? Yep. I mean, the guy just screams quality. And the fact that he's headlining this, come on, man.
He knows what gamers want. And so many studios and so many developers just don't realize what everybody wants. And that's one of the topics we're going to talk about later today. Will the Broke Boy Lewis says, oh, there we go, that one. David Leatherwood, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Says, and I quote, Fonz Gaming. No, I don't quote Fonz Gaming. He says, and this one goes to Fonz. Avowed is awesome. Don't know if I have enough time to finish before Monster Hunter Wilds. 40 hours in, and I'm on the second map. That's about where I was. I was like 30 some hours and when I got to the second map and was still like way through it. You can really take as much time as you want, and Avowed does not waste your time. Thank you, David. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I heard that it respects the player's time. That's what I heard. It's like, it's not a lot of, like, there's busy work, obviously. And then the thing is, it's still in your hands, right? If you're walking around and then you're like, oh, let me see what's over there. Obviously you can go do all those things, but it doesn't waste your time with frivolous nonsense, from what I understand. Is that it's very much to the point and it keeps players engaged. That's a huge thing for me, because I know I like to wander off. I'm very OCD and I'm a completionist. So I got to overturn every stone in the game. I need to see what's going on. But sometimes you just want a game that's much more focused and be like, you know what, that was an awesome, tight packaged experience, man. Give me that. And I'm looking forward to it sometime this week.
That's a really good way to explain it. And I know there was the bad faith comparisons to Skyrim, but Skyrim does a lot of things, but it takes a while to get to them. And everything you do in Avowed is like neatly packaged, and you go over somewhere and all your combat is available to you like right away. There's a lot of pausing into menus to do some amazing stuff in Skyrim. When you said in your hands, I thought I would take just a second. I want to show off this new controller I ordered.
Right. What do you got?
I made an Elite.
That's pretty.
I made an Elite V2 Colteastwood.
No way.
Controller, and it's all in the colors there, and it might take a second here. But it's got the translucent front. Come on, you can do it. There it is.
Wow.
It's really nice. And when I remove this, I'll be out of focus for 5 hours. But
no, you're good. You're good.
I've really enjoyed it. I'm having a really good time playing games right now. It's been a good time, and I'm glad that you're into it too. David Messer, thank you so much for the 5 from David. Dave Messer says, I can listen to Mag's sultry voice all day. Hit that like button. Give us a little ASMR.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for pointing out the obvious, that I'm just such an amazing person, unlike Risk It for the Biscuit, who's a complete scumbag. I believe he's got a super chat coming up next, but close your eye.
I'll have to get real sultry with this next one
and go to sleep.
This next one's from our sexy friend Boner Jams. Boner Jams with a $4.99 super chat says, I'm here for Risk It for the Biscuit's rendition of Shuriken 12-Foot Ninja. What's good, Mag and Colt Thunder Rumber? Have a great week, boys. And the picture's sexy too, so we appreciate you, Boner Jams. Risk It for the Biscuit with the Australian $8 Dollary Do says Mag is the Elder Scrolls of humans. He was great back in the day and all, but now he's just dated and showing his age.
Oh my God.
I ain't as good as I once was.
God.
Yeah.
Did he listen last week when I said that I needed a memer? I needed a memer out there to put Brisket inside the pouch of a kangaroo.
Yes.
And nobody did it. Nobody did it, guys.
Nope.
7 days later, and nobody made a nobody made a meme.
Him.
Yeah, come on, man, guys. Legion of memers, I know you're out there somewhere. Come on.
I
want Brisket for the biscuit. I get it. I want his ridiculous face inside the pouch of a kangaroo. Please and thank you. That's all I'm asking for.
Well, we got TS Bud 95 with the $2 super chat says, "Did you see the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer 2 announcement?" No. And
no, there was a joke out there that's saying it's coming out February 30th.
Case, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's they're like the trailer's coming out February 30th, and if anybody, well, it's a joke. And then the other one was they said judging by the reveals of Borderlands 4, we should be like timing wise, we should get a trailer by the end of March. But we've also been hearing that since the beginning of January. You know what I mean? Like, we've had people doing like, we're doing, the trailer's coming out this week. The trailer's coming out today. It's coming out January 30th. They tease it on Instagram here, and they have been putting out numbers and stuff on Instagram and on their social media sites. And then they had like 3 missed dates in February. So, I'm literally just going to actually wait till I see it before I speak on it again, because I just don't believe him. Like I did a video about Strauss Zelnick because I was on the investor call and I was listening to him, and the guy was like I told you, the guy was like the straw man, straw man, Jesus Christ, the Scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz.
Straw man.
Sorry, the straw man. I meant the Scarecrow. Yeah, you know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, GTA 6 is coming out this way. Like he's pointing in 2 different directions. I'm like, dude, pick a lane, man. Because he's like, oh, yeah, it's coming. And then all of a sudden, ... But it might slip into 2026. And like, okay, dude, which one is it? You know what I mean? Like, so anyway, whatever.
It's got
We'll find out when we find out. I'm not holding my breath for 2 games. I'll tell you this right now. I'm looking forward to them. And I can't wait to play them because I'm so excited. Grand Theft Auto 6 and Elder Scrolls 6. Those are 2 games that I can't wait to get my hands on, but I'm not holding my breath for either one. I've got too much stuff going on right now, and it could be literally a year to years before we see both of them in the wild.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people talking about the trailer stuff and a lot of people making fake trailers, and hey, that blue number's here. Welcome. I hope your dealio went well tonight, and that it was successful, and that you're now famous. I hope all those things happen. Fonz in the chat says same, Mag. Fonz and I talk a lot about Grand Theft Auto 6. But there was a rumor that the PC version is coming out like 6 months or less than a year after release. So there was this rumor that spring 2026 was the PC version. And we're like, oh, do you wait? But I mean, I think the zeitgeist is going to be so ridiculous. The zeitgeist and the FOMO is going to be like intoxicating, that we will be playing that game like ASAP. But yeah,
the guy who said that was he was the head of a distributor or whatever. He deleted that tweet, by the way, where he was talking about how he heard it was going to be in Q1 of 26, and he deleted it. So it's either it was wrong, or somebody from Rockstar called and went, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Oh, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm just having a coffee, having a croissant. So, anyways, if you don't want to have an accident out the 19th story window, then I think you better remove that tweet. And you know what I mean? So it could be one of those 2 things. He could be completely off base, or someone threatened him from Rockstar.
Yeah, that stuff's really dangerous, because if somebody's trying to leak that the game is being pushed to 2026, that starts tanking stocks. That's really dangerous if that's not founded. And also, I say that Strauss saying that we're on schedule for 2025 is also really helpful for the stocks. So it's very advantageous to say, we're going to make it, and then you can, when you least have to. Yeah, it's a fine line too, because you have to be very careful. We talked about this already in a previous show. We don't have to get back into it. However, there is something out there called sales under false pretense when it comes to stock. You have to be incredibly careful with that too,
because you can't promise something and saying, okay, this is what's going to happen. We got this coming out. It's going to increase it's going to increase the market cap of our company, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And of course, that's going to increase the price of the stocks, which is going to benefit the investors. Woo! Say that 5 times really fast.
Yeah.
But what that is, at the end of the day, is that is sales under false pretense, and then they could turn around and get sued, right? Because they say, well, you promised us this, that, and the other in the last investor call. If he indeed says exactly the way he says, yes, it is coming out, absolutely coming out on this day or whatever. And that's why he keeps covering his own butt by saying, but it might, you know what I mean? Right? He's like, oh, we're good. Now there was something else, Malaysia. I posted it myself. Nobody really cared, but there was someone made their own box art of Malaysia. No, there's a Malaysian store called like Players Dungeon or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like a GameStop or something, right? Yeah.
They have a chain of them. There's a whole chain of them. It's like a GameStop. They have a whole chain of stores. So they made their own covers and they put them on the shelves, and they're already taking pre-orders of, I think it's the equivalent of $3. They're doing pre-orders on it right now. So
GameStop can do that as well with any game. They had pre-orders going for 5 years on Dead Island 2. That's something we should talk about another time.
That's right.
I called GameStop for a YouTube video back in 2015 or 2014. I recorded and called them, and they're like, GameStop, we're powered to the players. And I said, hey, are you still accepting pre-orders for Dead Island 2? And they're like, we sure are. And I said, okay, cool. And I put that in a video, like they're still accepting pre-orders. And if people are like, they do that for any game. Like they would put out pre-orders for Half-Life 3 if they wanted. And you can always get your money back, but
right. Yeah, these guys made their own box art and everything. Although the box art looks really good. It looks like exactly what I would picture. It's the it's the two of them leaning on the car.
Yeah.
By the way, someone did do someone did a meme of Colt and I doing that. And Colt looked good, but my head looks so stupid. So can someone please remake that so my head looks good?
We did look good. We're a nice little couple and on a muscle car.
Yeah, and I don't like the fact that Colt was holding me. I mean, who says I'm not holding him? Like, what the hell is this?
I am the more sensitive one, but I will hold you when need be. When the going gets tough out there on the streets, I will hold you, Mag, and it will be okay.
Well, I like to play as female characters, so I guess it kind of worked out in the end, didn't it? What's up, Noof? Noof Nukem's in the chat, everybody. Say hello to him.
Shout out to Noof Nukem. Tell us, Ray, we appreciate you, everybody. Freaking Grand Theft Auto. I watched a trailer that has, from a small channel, has 80,000 views, and it was a bunch of like shots of what Grand Theft Auto 6 would look like, but it was all made in AI. And you know, it has that weird like,
yeah.
But it looks nice, but it kind of has that, you know,
the AI
you're missing a couple of brain cells going on, or you lose brain cells watching it. And it made me think about our next topic, which is Satya Nadella is out there bragging about these new super-powered chips for AI. And Xbox invited me to a press briefing Tuesday morning for gaming and AI, and I declined it because it's 9 a.m. in the morning and I'm supposed to be working. So I'm like, I didn't want to like step away and watch a presentation for Xbox when I'm on the clock. It was kind of turned out to be exactly what I expected, that everybody doesn't like this. It's called Muse AI. It's supposed to be developer-powered creation, on-the-fly creation. They fed in Bleeding Edge, one of Xbox's worst games of last generation. They fed the game in there, and they told it. I didn't dive into it because I don't give a flying crap about AI in this respect. But they fed it and they said, what happens if you add jump pads to the game and on the fly it would throw it in there, which is kind of cool that it actually works. But it was feeding out results at like 240p at 30 FPS. So it's like, I guess you could use it for concepts and everyone could sit in a conference room and go, oh, okay. But I've also seen AI take Grand Theft Auto 5, the 10-year-old game, 12-year-old game, and in real time overlay it with beautiful photorealistic looking graphics that also look like you're kind of drunk, but still kind of looks, you know, I've heard that the opposite sex or the person that you like at a bar can look much better after several drinks. That's kind of what I think that would look like when I see AI overlaying an older game and making it look nicer. You look pretty good. You're the best drummer I've seen in any bar ever. But I don't know. What do I know? But I don't know how you feel about I'll ask your opinion, because my opinion is I do not want you guys laying off hundreds of employees across all these studios because AI is going to do creation, and I know that you have a really strong opinion. I want to get some of your good and some of your bad, Mag, on this AI stuff.
The problem is this. The problem is the good is good for, eventually will be good for consumers because you'll be able to get products faster, but there is no good outside of that. And so the thing is, outside of that, the only thing I see is people losing their jobs, and they will. They will continue to lose their jobs. Eventually, most of these companies will be run autonomously outside of a handful of managers. I absolutely tell you this is coming. I have been telling it for the last year and a half. I've been talking about it, and I've been warning people. And, to certain degrees of success, some people listen. Some people will F around and find out on their own. Forever's not listening. But this is what I do. And this is what I work in large corporations, and I'm seeing exactly what's happening. They're investing in this not to help people. And that's something that people have to understand about corporations. Corporations are not there to help you. They don't care about you. They are there to make a lot of money. And so therefore, as a result of that, them investing billions of dollars in AI is not to make your life easier. The investment into billions of dollars of AI is to lay everybody off
to make money easier.
A crap ton of money easier.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. This is but the tip of the iceberg. I will be making a video about this because I wanted to let it sink in before I said something. I didn't want to just jump out there and start freaking out about Muse. I just want to talk about AI in general, and I will release that video this week when I sit down and talk about it and I gather all my thoughts. But 100%, I'm going to tell you this is not going to be good for anybody. It'll be good for a handful of people that are going to be the managers calling the shots, and then that's basically it. At that point, you're going to have certain people that are going to have, one guy here, one guy here, one guy there. They'll turn studios of 500 into 100. They'll turn the studios of 300 into 50 people. And eventually, it'll be 10 people. You're going to have a couple of writers.
What if they use it to keep studios at 300 people instead of having to boost them up to 500?
They won't. Well, you know what the other problem is too? The climbing costs of developers. And what I mean by that is when people say, oh, these budgets for these games are ballooning out of control. It's because the salaries are ballooning out of control. So like when you look at a game like Spider-Man costs whatever, $250 million, $150 million of that was the salaries of people that are getting paid $150,000 to $200,000 US to work on the game. That is not sustainable. When they keep saying, when you hear the big guys say, and just please, you don't have to agree with me. Just understand that this is what I do. Not me, I don't do that part. But I'm saying I deal with these people all day. I know exactly what they're saying. When they say it's not sustainable, they are saying that your job is not sustainable. That's what they're saying in not so many words. Yeah. So what they're going to do is they're going to replace all these people. Now, I don't have to go into the doom and gloom of that all day. So you got...
Hold on, I lost you.
This is the only positive.
Oh.
Is that... Am I still here?
Yeah, your mic cut out for just half a second, but you're good.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. You got really blurry for a second too, actually.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a glitch in the that's Microsoft cutting us off because I'm talking about him. That's Phil Spencer and Satya pressing the button, going nuke the show.
Yep.
What now? The only positive, and I hate to say positive because it really isn't positive because a lot of people are going to suffer as a result of this, is that you're going to have, like, for example, you'll be able to launch Gears of War every 2 years, right? You'll have a new Gears of War every 2 years.
I like that.
You'll have a new God of War, but that comes at the expense of 400 people's jobs, right? So you're going to get a God of War every couple of years because you know why? Again, I'll say it again. I said it before. AI don't sleep, doesn't need rest. It doesn't need time off. It doesn't need to go home to family. It doesn't need to go pick up the kids from school. AI doesn't get sick. AI doesn't go on holidays. It works 24/7. And that's what they want. They're going to be cranking those damn computers 24/7. They're going to be rolling. You're going to need humans in there for script work, for writing, for even voice acting is now a problem because now you got these actors now are all complaining and starting to, they were striking about it and talking about it because they could just pull a voice. You watch the Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus that came out 2 years ago, and they didn't even use James Earl Jones. They just took clips of him, and then they put it through the AI, and the AI recreated his voice, right? And they can continue to do that now that the
If
poor
they're
man
doing it at a
is
production
gone.
level, a production quality level, then
Yes.
it's very
You
scary.
don't think you can have Dom and Marcus Phoenix for the rest of our lives with the same voice? Absolutely you can. You don't even have to worry about the actor anymore. You've got the rights to his voice,
Hey,
and that's it.
give
Master
me
Chief,
Michael Ironside for the next Splinter Cell. Just voice
He's
print
not.
the old Michael Ironside voice and use it. I mean,
so you know what I mean? But like the thing
but what
is,
about the
you look
good,
at-
Mag? Like, are there good
the only
things
good is
like
yes, for now.
we've seen like a lot of people are using AI driven companions in Skyrim mods where their companion they can talk back and forth to their companion while they're out in the world. And it's somebody told me that they asked their AI companion, "What do you do when I turn off the game?" And they said, "Oh, we don't like it when you turn off the game. The world is so dark and nothing's happening. Please don't do that." Really super eerie, but cool. But are we going to see some things where like characters could be more interactive or come to life if you turn on a feature in any game where if you have a headset on, you could turn on, would you like to talk to NPCs in your game? Make sure your mic is enabled. It would be amazing to walk in and say, like if I'm playing Enshrouded, I need the smithing tools, but I don't know where to go. And every time I try to find it, I can't find them. And then the AI companion is like, well, you need to go into Revelwood, and south of Revelwood near the something palace, you'll be able to find the smithing tools. Like that would be amazing. Instead, it sucks right now when I hate doing this. I hate pulling up my phone, Googling it, finding some.
Where is the griffin hiding in the forest of so-and-so, this and that? Yeah.
And you have to scrub through a YouTube video, or you have to scrub through like a really long playthrough that's loaded with ads popping up everywhere. Those are some good things, but are you kind of feeling, Mag, that it's a major sacrifice that we're looking forward to?
Yeah. So exactly what you're saying. There are good aspects to it right now, but those good aspects are now still being run and developed by human beings, right?
Yeah.
And so those things are still being programmed, and basically they work in unison with the AI. And my brother uses AI as well. He does, like, I can't say what he does for a living, but needless to say, it's government work and stuff. And a lot of stuff that they do is, it works in unison with AI, right? And he says, oh, actually, he even says it. He goes, a lot of the work that I do, it wouldn't be impossible without AI. Without that companion there and this and that, whatever. And that's great. But the thing is, as AI continues to improve and get smarter and better, then you're gone eventually. They're going to pay you out and get rid of you, and because they don't need to pay you and have the AI running too, right? So it's great for now, but in 5 to 10 years from now, you're out.
Or maybe not
that's
even
all
that.
There is to it, man.
2 years ago,
I'm just telling it like it is.
2 years ago, Midjourney AI was I was like, create a character standing in front of a steampunk city. I was trying to create an image for Clockwork Revolution, but back then we only knew of it as a steampunk RPG game from an exile. We didn't know it was called Clockwork Revolution. And I'm like, create a character standing in front of a steampunk city holding a rifle. And what it came up was some weird abstract art that I'm like, you could squint like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. That like looks like somebody kind of like broad brush stroked this picture, and it's really abstract, but you can tell it's a steampunk city and a guy standing there with a top hat. You couldn't really tell the rifle was really weird. And I was blown away in 2022 with that result. Now, when I do it, my Elder Scrolls 6 thumbnail, I created from 4 different images. I created a landscape. I stitched together all the best parts. I put the character in front, color casted, changed it so it looked like he belonged in the scene, and just composited everything and made an amazing image that looked like it was something created from a major studio. Because things have gotten so far that I'm going to read these out of order, but that blue number sends a $5 super chat about this. Thank you so much for your support. She says, if AI can make every game protagonist turn into Henry Cavill, I support it.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
Biff Rinaldi says, I still haven't started Avowed, probably this weekend. Next game I'm stoked for is Metal Gear Delta. I can't wait to go through that masterpiece again.
Man, I can't wait. That's another big one for me, man. Metal Gear, man. Oh, man, I'm a huge Metal Gear fan.
Yeah.
Huge Metal Gear.
That's another big game that, like, you can't even say, I'm looking forward to all the games in 2025. Here they are, because you'll forget. There's so many. It's amazing. Will Broke Boy Lewis, thank you so much for the 5. Says, for us old gamers like Colt and Mag, the Delta Force Black Hawk Down campaign. I said Black Hawk Down properly.
Thank you.
Wow, that was good. He says the Black Hawk Down campaign remake released this Friday on Steam, and it's free to play. I never played that back in the day, but
free to play. Wow.
On Steam, yeah. And Top Gamer Pro, thank you for the $1 super chat, and we appreciate you. Game Seeker good friend Game Seeker in the chat. Thank you so much for the Canadian $5. Says my kiddo's playing Balatro on Game Pass and loving it.
Nice.
Sending me pics
Glad
of the
to hear
Fallout
that.
character cards. Could this be as addictive as Vampire Survivors? I've heard that it is more addictive than Vampire Survivors, and I was really hooked on that game. So yeah, I did see the Fallout and other game character cards that they were showing off today on Twitter. So yeah, that crossover stuff. Everyone do more crossover stuff. Even though Mag got really mad about the Ninja Turtles thing, I love seeing crossover stuff from my favorite franchises or my favorite games. Way back
It's
in the day.
got to make sense to me though, man.
Sure. How about this?
Like Injustice 2 made sense with the Turtles.
Well, of course.
It doesn't make
course.
sense in Call of Duty. Sorry, carry on. What were you
How
gonna
about this? Is an oldie.
All right.
This is like back in 2008 or 2007. The Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet 2. The third-person game where you shoot bugs and they have like the heat stuff that keeps you warm. They did a crossover that nobody remembers, but you could buy Dom and Marcus as playable campaign characters, so you could play the entire Lost Planet 2 campaign as Marcus or Dom.
That makes sense too.
Because it's it was awesome.
But it's a third-person action-adventure shooting game that you're killing bugs. It's the same as Gears of War. You're killing monsters.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
What if it was Justin Bieber?
Yeah. If I'm playing Oblivion, I don't need to see Marcus Phoenix as my companion. That doesn't make any sense. It's the same that TMNT and COD have nothing to do with it. All they're doing is capitalizing off of that nonsense. The Fortnite thing. Obviously, it makes them a lot of money. God bless. Make your money. But I'm just saying I don't agree with it.
So you're the guy who's like, don't put franchise characters into my Halo Online in the future.
If they make sense.
What do you mean they make sense?
You got to make sense, Colt.
What if you can play Celine Dion in multiplayer for Halo? Does that make sense? No?
And then she sings "My Heart Will Go On" as you teabag your opponent after shooting him. Yes, I could see that. That's a fantastic thing.
It's so funny because like Lady Gaga and Billie Eilish are like really popular skins in Fortnite right now. And I think back of who was the popular female artist when Halo first came out in 2001. Oh my gosh. That's funny. But anyway, Biffernolly. Really, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says 300 games coming out every 2 years isn't good for anybody. Oversaturation could come quick. I don't like the way it's going. He makes a good point that if games, Elon Musk wants to make gaming great again by making an AI game studio. And the last thing we need is shovelware that is cranked out by a server farm in Kentucky that has like $3,020,000 GPUs in it. Like,
dude.
But I don't think that's how things going to work.
Without people, right? All the Tesla cars, I have them.
Oh, they're made without humans.
They're made by robots.
Yeah,
no, they're made by robots. So you're already there.
I mean, isn't GM and them already doing that too for a major part?
A lot of that. They're doing a lot of that, yeah. Where like a lot of you don't have 1,000 guys on the floor anymore like in the old days wearing hard hats. You're having some. But the majority of it are being done by robots, and those robots are all lost jobs. So if anybody thinks that this is just like like for example, I want to take this. Risket says it. He says there is
Dom DeLuise.
You're Dom DeLuise.
Why?
That's amazing though. Dom DeLuise would be fantastic in yeah. Anyways,
you imagine being the big guy in Doom.
I know, and like wearing the little beret. Yeah, he used to wear the beret and like the cape.
We're way over your heads with the old reference. Like Dom DeLuise,
old reference.
He predates even us. Like we only saw him because he was on stupid Hollywood Squares. Like we didn't know who he was when we were kids. Who is this?
Cannonball Run, and he used to hang out with like Mel Brooks and those guys. They were all hilarious, man. Anyways,
Tom
Risk It
DeLuise.
with his horrible English, by the way. He says there is many positives. You meant to say there are many positives. There are many positives as well as
There
negatives.
am.
The industrial age, yeah, the industrial age saw the same fears we survived. You will
That's true.
absolutely survive.
Yeah.
But we're specifically talking about this industry. I'm not talking about the whole world. I'm not talking about every industry. We're talking about the game industry is going to be affected directly, and with spiraling salaries. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, we're talking about gaming because this is a gaming podcast, right? We're not talking about the chef world. We're not talking about the auto industry. We're talking about gaming.
We did.
And we did. Yeah. And so until Tom DeLuise showed up.
Yeah.
But like when it looks at all those things,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. And like I said, you've got spiraling. And I even talked to somebody who's a big shot in the industry, and he said the same. You know what he said? He said we're literally pricing ourselves out of a career.
Yeah.
Because the salaries keep going up, the demand keeps going up, but with that, the budgets are going up. And do you think that Phil and Herman Hulst and the rest of those guys are all sitting around going, yeah, it's fine. It's fine that it's now costing us $400 million to make a game. It's not fine.
Unless you're
going behind the scenes and sitting there going, how the hell do we cut this back down to 100 million?
Yeah, and unless you're a Eastern developer on the other side of the planet, the ones that are
paid 1/20th of what they're getting paid in North America.
Oh, I don't know if how that works, but
I know the salaries. I looked them up.
Okay. The Eastern studios on the other side, the ones that aren't in North America, are having a really great success with their games, are doing really well. And then for the most part, the major publishers and major studios that had their heyday are having a real hard time right now. And I think you're right. When Herman Hulst and Phil and Sarah Bond and Hiroki Totoki, and when they're looking at their financials, we don't know what they look like. You and I have a really good idea what they look like, right, Mag? We can imagine that graph is down too far. The percentage, the profit margin is way too slim, and they're looking at what do we do, because they've been laying off people in the games industry 15%, 20% across the board for almost 3 years. And when they're looking at how much efficiency and replacement can be done by AI, when you talk about the industrial era, everyone's like, oh, the steam engine is going to take away all these jobs, and it created more jobs. The difference with AI is it is now going to be doing the production and the thinking that a human doesn't have. The thinking part is what I think separates it. And in 2 years, it's going to be Terminator 2. It'll be over. It's going to build its own robots. They're going to come and they're going to pull my skin off and wear it, which will be sexy, if I'm being honest.
Fantastic.
My skin.
I want to see metal
over
robots with our skins. Yeah, like RoboCop, like with like the stretched out face.
Yeah, like this.
The stretched out face with the metal brain behind it. I'm in. Like, give me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The average salary for a Korean developer making games like Stellar Blade and stuff like that sell like 1 million copies,
Really?
2 million copies, and they
what is it?
They're like, that's a huge
dollars?
success. 35 to 40, 35, and the top is $45,000
a year.
A year. So that's the average salary for a Korean developer.
What is what kind of job is
it's
$40,000 a year in the U.S.? What kind of job pulls in $40,000 a year? Like low retail, or I'm kind of out of that.
No, less than that. Retail make less than that. They certainly make less than that. The average salary in Canada is like $40,000 a year. You know what I mean? So it's like Canadian dollars, right? So it's much lower. Anyway, the point is that obviously reflects in the budget, right? If you're paying somebody 40, like that's top position, gets 67 million South Korean won, which is approximately $45,000 US. That's the higher end. The lower end is closer to about $33,000 US a year, right? So if you got the majority of people making somewhere between $33,000 and $40,000 US a year making that game, as opposed to $140,000, $150,000, $200,000 for project managers and everything else, then you're talking. Why do you think and then it takes them 6 years to make the effing game? Multiply all those salaries by 6 years, dude. Where do you think $250 million just went?
Are they
for the production of Spider-Man 2?
In your opinion, are they overpaying developers when you compare them to the rest of the world?
I can't say that
because
I'm not
the U.S. median salary is about $60,000 across men and women.
That's way higher than most of the world.
Okay.
Now, like I said, the average salary in Canada is like $40,000 Canadian. For you guys, it's like $32,000 a year.
So if this is not a financial show, welcome to Dave Ramsey. If people in North America typically get paid a little more than someone in Korea, which is a really great market, they have a really great great economy. I don't know what the word is. They're great over there. If they're getting paid a lesser amount comparatively, and they're taking far less, it looks like North America or Western developers are already 1.5 times over bloated than they should be when it comes to how much it costs. Games, if a game's supposed to take 3 years and it takes 6 years, that's a major financial burden. And when you're already paying your employees 1.5 times more than the rest of the world because you're in North America, you can see why Xbox is like, oh, we really want to have a presence in Japan, or we want to have a presence. I don't know how the Japan economy compares. Like maybe they make more money over there. I have no idea. Like I said, I've only been out of the country twice, but
right.
When Phil's like, we need to get an Eastern European studio, or we need to get a studio in the UK or whatever, you got to translate. A lot of that is, it's better for them financially and cheaper for them to employ those people for that long. But part of one of the discussions I wanted to have today was that the Western development and AAA games market is really, really having a tough time. And I, as much as I try not to, I try to stay away from most of the negative stuff, but I am inundated and completely buried and suffocated by content on YouTube and social media that tells me over and over and hits me over the top of the head, Mag, that the games industry's cooked. Some really respectable content creators like Legendary Drops and Asmon Gold are constantly telling us over and over, and just like a broken record, that the Western game developers they cost too much money. Their games are failing. They're losing money. They don't listen to what the fans want. And then we continue to see games that come out of the east side of, I apologize for the worldwide audience when I say east side. I say from the perspective of where Mag and I, on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, that are just killing it, making amazing games, winning over hundreds of thousands of fans every single day, and putting out games like Capcom put out a 90 Metacritic game. The Eastern European studio, hopefully I got that right, Warhorse for Kingdom Come Deliverance, a 90. Hundreds of thousands of people playing it concurrently on Steam. And it's like, I'm never negative like this, but there is such a divide, Mag, between one half of the planet that shares with the EU and Asia. They're doing amazing. And over here, the people that are have studios in Canada and North America are just having such a hard time keeping up with everybody else, and their franchises are having a hard time staying alive. Am I out of pocket, or do you see some of this because you're kind of like, no, you're hearing too much negative stuff? Where are you at on that, Mag?
It's multifaceted, right? It's not just one answer. There's no, only a Sith deals in absolutes. Obi-Wan Kenobi 2005.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like only, it's not a black and white answer. It's multifaceted. And what I mean by that is just that it's that there are things that are falling apart. Obviously, there are a lot of these companies are not delivering on time. And you've got these other studios who are hungrier. The multinational developers are outperforming a lot of the North American or Western culture developers. They're crushing it. However, there's a lot of things that they're doing, and someone mentioned that, a lot of people mentioned in the chat, there's a lot of things they're doing. Now, I'd like to preface this before I say anything, and I should have prefaced the last conversation we had about AI and salaries and all that stuff. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just telling you like it is. So it's not like, oh, Mag is saying this, oh, he was saying that. Oh, he wants developers to lose jobs because they cost too much. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm just reporting the facts in front of my face. So, and I deal with this kind of stuff all day. The numbers, the budgets, the salaries, I deal with that all day long. And so I see what's happening. I understand, you know what I mean? So I don't agree with it. I'm just telling you what's happening and what's going to happen. In terms of the international market, now that I've prefaced that, I like to preface it with this. I also don't entirely agree with this. However, You know, there are some things out there, like a lot of the non-Western developers, they have crunch still in their studios. They still say, we need this game out in 3 months.
They don't talk about it anymore, though.
They don't talk about it anymore, but
they hide it.
They get paid to do it. They get paid their overtime. I did look in all that stuff too. They get paid for it. It's not like they're slaves. Like there's like, you're just going to make this and you're going to work 18 hours a day and sleep on the floor for free. They're getting paid for all that stuff. They have the options to do it, but a lot of them do it out of the options because of the financial benefit from it, right? By the way, the average U.S. salary, median U.S. salary for a developer is $115,000 U.S. That is a ludicrous amount of money. That's almost $160,000 Canadian as the average salary, right? And if you look at that compared to $35,000, you know what I mean? You got to see where a lot of that money is going in the Western developers. Then you've got the other side. You've got the social aspect, right? You got the social, the culture war going on with Western developers, activists on this side, lefties and righties, and everybody's fighting with each other and this, that, and whatever. And and they don't want trans in games and pronouns, and then people want it, people don't. And then you know what I mean, and all this kind of stuff going on too does not help the situation. Then you've got the developers taking too damn long to release these games. I mean, I understand a lot of these games are great. I mean, I love AAA games. I absolutely love AAA Western games if they're good. But man, when they are good, they hit. Yeah, and they're incredible, and you love them. But my God, 6 years, that you can't do that anymore. And that's why AI is going to take over, because the guys at top are literally saying it's not sustainable. So the only way to make it sustainable is to speed it up. They're not walking away from it. Does anybody think when what's his face Shuhei Yoshida said it like 5 years ago, and the other guy said it? I can't remember his name. The old head of PlayStation saying it's not sustainable.
Jim Ryan.
No, it wasn't Jim Ryan.
Sean Layden.
Or Jim Ryan. Sean Layton.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he said it's not sustainable. He didn't say it's not sustainable like he's like, yeah, so we're just going to pack it up and go home. No, they need to find a solution to make sure that those AAA games continue to come. And so there's that. There's a slow turnaround. The costs are too high. There's the culture war stuff going on. And then meanwhile, you've got these Eastern developers. You've got the South Korea. You've got China with Black Myth Wukong. I heard just crossed 25 million copies sold, by the way. It's not a game for me. Not interested. But either way, you got these companies doing that, and they're cranking out these games. And some of them, not all of them, are great quality games. And they're doing it for like an eighth of the price and in half the time. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying you got to work 20 hours a day, but this is what they're doing, and they're outperforming. And that's something that's happening. But it is what it is. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? There's no going back from the way things are, and then that, I mean, unless they really want to, but, it's just, dude, it's not really as messy as people think. I think everybody's just got to sit back, take a breath, and just enjoy what comes out, and don't worry about how the sausage is being made. Just make sure you get the sausage on the grill and have a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we look into it too much because this is our passion. It's something we do, something we're part of. I know not everything I'm going to say is going to be popular. I know there's probably people, I can't see the
same with me
right now.
Yeah.
And people are not going to be happy with everything we say and argue with us. Oh, I don't agree with this. That's fine. That's great. I'm glad you don't agree. That's what makes us unique as people. Wonderful. But at the end of the day, I think everybody needs to take a step back. They're going to do what they're going to do. There's nothing we could do to stop it. We are consumers at the end of the day. Yeah. I don't run the damn industry. Okay. I'm a consumer. And so we just have to sit back and just enjoy our hobby and have a good time doing it.
Yeah.
And not worry too much about what's going on. Unless, of course, you have an invested interest and you're involved directly, then that's your battle. I'm not going to fight your battle.
Yeah.
You got to fight your own battles. I got my own battles. So you do your own thing and whatever. But other than that, I got to put my hands up and be like, listen, man, I'm just here for the games. And whoever's going to supply those games, I'm in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like Magnum says, this topic is boring. I mean, this topic is important.
You're boring.
But now this is a good topic because when you're talking, I'm thinking, I put a lot of thought into what happens to these people that are working because I don't want people to lose their jobs. But
no, nobody wants that.
But we don't normally think about that with all the products that we love. When you love music, right? And how often do you think about people who've lost their jobs because of cutbacks in the music industry or whatever? Like I really love buying a new car every several years. And we don't often think about that, but as podcasters or people who talk about games and studios and all, if you're here, you're a diehard, and you talk about the intricacies of the games industry, and maybe some of it can be sort of boring or pandemic because it's you know, we don't know all these people that work at studios. But when we're talking about AI removing jobs, like I want to make sure that I do tell you guys, because I do feel that I don't want people to lose their jobs because of the inevitability of people being replaced by compute that happens online or offline overnight. And that's the reason why we're talking about it. But there is another big part of AI that we don't often talk about, like we talked about in the beginning, that there are going to be some absolutely wonderful things that, you know, that can happen, like bug testing or level testing and crash and all this stuff that can happen behind the scenes so that games can be more polished, because this stuff can run overnight, like all night long. It can run and find all the things and give you a report of things to fix, and employees can come in the morning and start knocking those things out. And they can feel like we have a systematic approach to get things working faster. And like Mag said, it could take games from 6 years development down to 4, or 4 years down to 2.
It'll
the other part, the creativity. Yeah. And
it'll be incremental. It's not going to happen tomorrow. By the way, Malik is losing his mind in the chat here. I got to address him. Dude.
Okay.
I don't think you're quite getting it. I understand what you're saying. And he's saying, like, we have the power to control what's going on, like, you know, with vote with our wallets and this and that. I get it. But the majority of people don't care. They don't care. We care because we're in this, and this is our hobby, and this is something we do outside of our work or whatever. We talk about it. We're passionate about the subject. But the majority of the people, the 85% of people out there, don't give a rat's ass that 600 people went down to 100 people. They just want to play NHL 27. They just want to play FIFA 27 or whatever the hell it's called now. You know what I mean? And they want to play Madden 27. They want to play Call of Duty. They don't care who's doing it and how. And the companies damn well know that people don't care. They just customers want to consume. And companies are more than happy to continue to provide that. They don't care how they do it. And it's always going to be at the expense of a human being, whether it's 100 years ago, 50 years ago, or today. Corporations will always make a profit at the expense of a human being. Always.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And why would that be any different now? Yes, you can absolutely vote with your wallet, 100%, but you're not even going to make a dent in it. It's like people who stop eating veal. I would stop eating veal because I don't want them to kill baby cows.
Meg and I bought 4 steaks that week because of that person's post online, right?
I know. Yeah, so you got 50,000 people that will buy veal, right? And then the companies know that, and then they can continue to do that. So the 85% that are not tuned into like a show like this, right, or a Rand show or whatever, you know what I mean? They're not paying attention to this stuff. They don't care, and the companies and the corporations absolutely know that. They're not worried about the 15%.
I think you're so right. The consumer's like, oh, I'm getting another Gears game, or I'm getting another franchise game sooner than we used to. I love it. Yeah. And the games have to be good, because
does anybody care how sorry.
No, I get what you're about to say. No, they don't care how
your car is being made. No. Or how many people lost their jobs because the toaster company is now automated?
Well, I remember
nobody cares.
I remember Paris ordered a new car a couple years ago, and he was waiting, and like it took a long time for cars to be made. You think Paris is like, man, I sure hope they have as many humans as possible working on that.
No, they don't care.
I'm willing to wait. Like
they just want their car.
We just want, because this is how they make the car, and people love it. It's rated high, and it's going to be great. He's not like, man, I hope they put some real hands-on TLC and take 5 years longer. You want that stuff when you build a house. But the other thing we have to address is what people get upset about is AI is going to make all this wonky, weird, auto-generated stuff. And I think there will be some studios you'll probably see, because Steam has an initiative to try and filter out AI-generated video games. It's going to be a reality in the next year or two. And I'm sure there's going to be like some wonder joy that comes, like there's going to be one amazing game, like, oh my gosh, this game's so wacky and amazing. But for the most part, people don't want that. They don't want to see AI-generated pictures on thumbnails. They don't want to see it in videos. They don't.
It's already happening.
They don't want to see it on memes. It looks so weird, and it's already happening.
But you see Instagram now? Instagram even has AI models doing like bikini shots and stuff, and I'm like, but they look so good, and some of them are actual like live reels that they're moving around and stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, she's really hot. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, she's not real, right? So like it's a hey Fernando Mora, hola amigos. He's just hailing us from Mexico.
Awesome.
Greetings, my friend,
Yeah.
from Canada. So the thing is that it's happening anyway, and unfortunately, and I'm saying you don't have to agree with it, whatever. I bet you there's a car podcast out there right now where they are talking about how humans are losing their jobs in the car industry because of the robotic engineering that's happening there. 100% there is. But everybody listening to this chat, do they care?
That's
Probably
true.
not.
They're
driving around their Chevy or their Tesla that's literally made by robots. Did any of them stop and think for 2 seconds with their wallet, or did they need a car to get to work or whatever? They just wanted a new car because the last car broke down, right?
Or that car
Just
that they
saying.
want. That's how it's made, and I just want the car. I don't care. What
That's
kind of
exactly
stuff?
how it's going to be, dude.
What kind of stuff do you want to see if they're like we can make games more immersive? We can make worlds come to life with AI. What kind of stuff would you like to see, Mag? Because we can sit here doom and gloom, but there's stuff we're looking forward to.
Yeah, no, those are just realities. But this is we're going to talk about some fun stuff. Integration of AI with people. I'm talking about with human developers, because what happens is, a machine will never have the emotion and the soul and whatever of a person. You can have a robot playing a violin, but it's not going to be the same as a dude who's been playing violin since he was 3. And part of that is part of their personality, right? And your personality reflects in your art, and that's something that's very important. And that's something that there'll always have to be some kind of a human element. I'm just talking about the majority of the other people, but anyways. Integration with those things to make gaming more immersive, absolutely a great idea. Just like you talked about with the NPCs having full conversations, they learn things about you. They start to understand your play style, right? That's pretty cool too, because then all of a sudden your play style can get recognized, and they can see the patterns of the kind of person that Colteastwood is when he's playing a game, or when Mag is playing a game, or when Malik is playing a game, or whatever's playing a game. They're going to understand your patterns. And they're going to say, oh, he really likes to do A, B, and C. And I've recognized that over the last 16 hours, Colteastwood likes to do A, B, and C. And so I'm going to explore that avenue, or maybe even shift the direction of the game to his play style, which is something I believe they were talking about with Muse AI. It's a very interesting concept. Because I like that idea. That's really cool.
I do too, because a lot of that stuff's been in our games for 20 years, where you complete certain quests a certain way, and an NPC, when you return back to town, will say, oh, I noticed you were able to save such and such. And that stuff's all programmed in, and it just takes longer to do that. But AI can do that stuff on the fly. And it could really bring things to life in really, really cool ways. And another great thing would be to, your character isn't voiced in Avowed or Starfield. It would be amazing to set your voice up to it, and all the dialogue is written, and it just voice prints you, and then you can listen to yourself in the headset. Or you could, I want my character to sound like Owen Wilson. Wow. Like, there's some really cool things that stuff probably won't happen. But
you could read a paragraph from a book, and just speak into your headphones, into your headset, and the AI will be able to literally recreate your voice for the entire game. So every voice from now on in the game will be your game. They'll be able to say your names on the speakers probably when you're playing a sports game.
That's one of the major things, because when I play Fallout or Avowed or whatever, they call me Envoy, or they call me Blue in Fallout 4. And if you have a regular name, one character, the Cogsworth will call you by your name, but Cogsworth's not going to call me Colteastwood. It's going to, call whatever name is in the program. But I think it'd be amazing for these characters to be able to address you by your username. It'd be awesome. There's
Ronnie
a lot.
Anderson
There's
in
a
the
lot.
chat just crushed me with a joke. He's just like, but
What's
Mag, what happens when a robot plays a violin from the age of 3?
Yeah, I mean,
sorry,
AI,
that went back to what I was saying before, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and AI is so fast that AI also can look at the style that someone plays, and it can weave that into. Yeah,
it'll be cool in that respect. It'll be really cool with that kind of integration, because then all of our games will be different. right? All of our experiences will be slightly different and be like, Colt will be like, oh man, this happened and I did this, that, and the other. Obviously things are scripted, but there are certain aspects of like design that can be shifted ever so slightly to tailor to your personal experience, so that Colt Eastwood plays a certain way. And all of a sudden I come in and I'm be like, dude, this happened when I was playing this, and you'd be like, oh man, that's so cool. That didn't happen to me. That's you know what happened to me? This happened to me, and you'd be able to like compare notes and have these cool conversations about, you know what I mean? The difference in the game that's been literally like tailored to your personal experience. That's pretty cool. On the immersion level, again, we're gonna like that, but we're still in the back of our minds. We know that came at the expense of something later on down the road. Not tomorrow. Might take 5 years, 10 years. But either way, but the rest of the people out there, all they're gonna see is the commercials showing game tailored to your own experience, your own voice, your own face, your own this, your own that. You're in the game, and that's all people are gonna care about. They're gonna be like, oh man, yep, I'm in the game now, and they don't give a shit. Excuse my language. It's the first time I swore tonight. Jeez. Or Colt Eastwood versus Mag in Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 16 comes out, and then it's Colt Eastwood versus myself, and then or Colt Eastwood and myself double teaming Risk It for the Biscuit, doing multiple fatalities on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, these things can happen. That'd be pretty wild.
If you send it pictures, if you upload pictures to the games, they could put your face on much better than we've seen in like the face scan technology, which looks kind of weird in MLB and 2K and stuff. Risk It for the Biscuit with the Australian $8 super chat said, thank you, Risk It. Thank you for reminding me. I skipped over this one as I was scrolling through, but thank you for reminding me. He says, imagine NPCs that are trained by quality assurance. They react to your actions and operate independently within the world. This is not a bad thing. It could be good.
No, it could be good.
He's right, because there's humans behind this stuff. And I'm so glad that I saw his super chat when he showed me, because that was one of the things I was going to ask you. Do you think that developers will do like what Risk It says, be very careful in their approach to forward-facing AI stuff that's interactive with the players? Do you think that developers are going to say we need to be really careful and do it sparingly so it enhances the experience? Or do you think they're just going to jump in and go, we don't have to do anything anymore. We can be on a coffee break while AI takes over and takes the wheel?
There's another super chat from Game Seeker. Did you get his? I think you skipped over two of them and went down to Biff Rinaldi.
No, I got it. He's talked about his son playing Balatro
you did get
and
that.
said,
sorry.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys' support tonight. It was amazing. You guys were so awesome sending super chats to Mag last week for his birthday.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciated all of that.
So I sent that over to him. Yeah, I sent that over to him. You did get that, didn't you?
I did get it. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. But you're amazing, Meg. I appreciate you. Yeah, I hope I really hope that what Risk is saying is where they're going. Like, there's quality human assurance on this stuff. Like, you can't just voice print in. Like, you want to listen to it, make sure it doesn't sound. Some of the AI sounds like it's a little bit choppy. I've heard AI generated singers, and it sounds okay. It's real low quality, and it has like there's something like a record skipping type sound that's really subtle. But that stuff keeps getting better. So I'm with Risk It.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Go back and listen and watch one of those videos, those AI videos that released like a year ago, and then watch one that got released yesterday. The difference is astounding.
Yeah.
In terms of quality. And that's only just 1 year, right? Imagine another 4 or 5 years, or a company that has unlimited access to the most powerful computational technology out there, and like what they're doing. Like Microsoft, like Meta, like Amazon. You will see, if you watch a lot of YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, you'll see some pretty cool AI generated video content, and it's pretty brief. Like, it can render like 5 to 6 seconds at a pretty high quality, but I've seen stuff where people have probably had AI pass over it a couple times to refine it, because AI, a hand will look like this, then the next time it'll look like this, and the next third time it looks like it should. So that's what I'm saying. Go back and look at old, not old, I hate to say old, a year old AI videos that are AI generated video, and then watch an AI generated video from like yesterday or the day before. You'll find them all on Instagram.
Have you seen the 2020? Have you seen the 2022 Will Smith eating spaghetti versus 2025?
Yes, it's
Bro.
unbelievable. The difference is unbelievable. I watched one the other day of Trump kissing Elon Musk's toes. I don't know why. Someone posted it. I'm like, what is this? And then they're just like, oh, just having some fun. And I'm like, holy crap! It looked real though. Like it looked like it was really them. And I'm like,
yeah,
jeez.
We're
now
doing
imagine another 5 years.
Yeah, and we're not even. We were doing a little bit of doom there when it comes to AI, but I want you guys to remember that in 2022, AI was creating nightmare fuel, like stuff that looked borderline frightening or just super
terrifying.
weird. Right now, in the late winter of 2025, AI stuff, some of it almost looks like, I think that's AI. Because before it was like, I don't want to go to bed tonight 2 years ago. And now it's like, I think that's AI. And of course, there's stuff that looks fake, obviously, but now you're getting like, I think that's fake.
Sometimes I'm wondering if like it's a girl with too much makeup or it's AI, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, that's actually AI, because then I see the account, and then I'm like, it's an AI, it's an account that
Have
makes
you done
AI
that when
videos,
you're at the bar? Are you?
No, they're real people at the bar. Yeah, are you a robot,
Are you
ma'am?
Sure? You're like pulling her eye down.
Do you work at Tesla? Do you build cars for a living?
You start Googling to her how to get rid of toenail fungus. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were a robot, ma'am. I apologize.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I knew it. Is that going to happen down the road that you like when young guys going to be at the bar and they're like, oh, crap. Did you go home with her? No, she was one of those Elon Musk robots. Did you go home with her? Yes, I went home with her.
You don't even know. Because sometimes you go to a girl, it's a guy. So it's like so, now next thing it's going to be robots. So like, geez, man, I feel sorry for people who got to date these days.
Now you just go home and say, well, at least I went home with the robot girl as intended. But that's our show. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for all your support. Meg and I, we love you guys. You're amazing.
Love you guys, man. Absolutely every single one of you.
Yeah.
Every single one of you.
It's been such a crazy good show, and appreciate everybody's support. We will be around here next week. Thanks for all your support with Gaming Weekly News. Thank you so much. And people like Risk It and my wife are like, you need to do those. Like, people like them, and you guys have been amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for subscribing to Mag's channel. He is in the description. Let me make sure it's a default thing when I set it up. Oh crap, it's not even in here. Sorry, I usually set it up when I do the subscribe to Mag's channel. We will get it in the chat for you. But we appreciate all of your support for our content. We'll be back here at hold on, let me put this in here. We'll be
back next week.
We will. Yes.
Slow burn pictures. Knock it off.
There. Hold on. Let me get this. Somebody's going to get this quicker than me. Copy. There. I knew a Happy Bomb would get it faster than me. Yeah, check out the Mag. Subscribe to him. We appreciate him getting in front of the camera and telling us what the hot news as it drops. We're going to get out of here. Yes. We'll see you next week. Mag, yes. Good luck with your week. I know you're busy.
Thank you very much.
And
yes, I'm going to be busy, and then I'm heading up north for the weekend. So,
anything you want to say before we get out of here? What you want to shop for your video or your videos or whatever?
No, just you guys know where the channel is. Go check it out. I just do off the cuff videos where I talk about stuff and any news that comes my way. The last one I just released this morning was an update about Tony Hawk. If you go check it out, you can find out exactly what's going on. There was a tease of it in the new Call of Duty expansion from the new season, and it's pretty obvious when you're running around the map and you walk into a skate shop and it says 3425 on the top with the Tony Hawk insignia and the font of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games right there. There was an update on the God of War Greek collection or possible Greek collection. There's still 2 camps out there, and I'm getting 2 stories, so I can't nail it down just yet. But looks like there's going to be a God of War. It's either going to be the trilogy, or it's going to be the Greek collection, which is more games involved, coming as a remaster, not a remake, but a remaster. So just a quick update on those. But anyways,
in other words, be entertained until you're informed with Mag's show as he gets all the news gathered for you. We appreciate
yeah. Oh no,
that.
if it's nailed down, I say it's nailed down. If it's up in the air, I say, listen, it's still up in the air, but this is what I'm hearing. So I always, preface it with that. But anyways, everybody have a great night. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so funny, so amazing. You make me laugh every single night I do this show, man. And you make it so much easier for us to be doing what we do, man. We really appreciate
you.
every single one of you.
Did you see my new
DM me, dude?
Yeah, Christian.
Sorry,
I hope you're feeling well. Did you see my new decoration?
I did.
Yeah, I did. I got the Xbox One X board. I bought it off eBay
that's hilarious.
For $25 because that board right there,
you could have just had mine.
That kicked off my channel. Yeah, I didn't want to take one apart.
No way.
But yeah, when they showed that chip on Digital Foundry, that's when my channel started really moving, and I got to meet all you guys. You're amazing. Thank you so much for everything. So awesome, man. Make sure you sub to the mag. He's over there. And make sure you sub here, and have a good night. We'll see you guys next week. Later.
Awesome. Have a good night.